Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to create and configure your own affiliate program with Affiliate. As a first step, go to a website. You should see free trial, click on it, then choose starter and enter your information. Once you have that, you will receive a password. Use this password to log in and you should be looking at the same page. This is the onboarding page. As you can see, we have 3 steps. And I'm going to walk you through the entire thing today. First, let's click on Create. As you can see, this is basic information. The name of your brand. This is the program name. So in my case, this would be Affiliate. The URL, so that's your domain name. You can just, copy paste it. And then you have categories. Categories is the type of product you're selling, obviously. I'm going to choose clothing, fashion and accessories. You can choose multiple categories and you can do that afterwards, so don't worry. Moving forward, the currency. In my case, you can see you have many options, but in my case, I'm going to choose Euro. The reason is I'm going to target Germany and France. If you don't have any specific country in mind, just leave it blank. The geolocation is here to specify whether you want to authorize clicks from other countries, meaning do you want to pay for any traffic, any sales coming from Spain, for example. If you don't have any problem with that, you can just leave it blank. Otherwise, you can specify the countries that you're only willing to authorize. In my case, I don't see any problem with that, so I'm just going to leave it blank. Moving forward, the tracking mode. The tracking mode is what do you want to use as a technology for the tracking. So this is actually a very important parameter. You have 3 options. Redirect is what you might actually be used to if you're using any other platform. It's actually useful if you want to encapsulate other links within the same link. Parameter and SEO are actually direct links, so it's a bit different. As you can see, the format is a bit specific. The idea behind it is not just interesting in terms of branding, it's also very useful if you want to use to avoid any potential issues with cookie stuffing, for example, or any type of fraud, or a problem with ad blockers. On top of that, the SEO option is here to benefit your SEO. For example, if the link is embedded into an article, a blog article, and the content is rich, it's relevant to your website, that might actually be a good thing for your SEO. So yeah, in my case, I want to work with blogs, so that might be a good option. Attribution mode is something you also might be familiar with. For new users, let me explain a bit. First click and last click is the usual approach that we have. Share is specific to us. So first click is you might have different publishers that took part into a sale. But you want to give full commission to the publisher that gave you the first click. Last click, well, obviously I don't need to explain it. Share is, since we keep track of every clicks for 30 days by default, we're able to tell you if different publishers took part into one sale. And what we're going to do is we're going to split automatically the commissions between those publishers. So if you want to work with blogs, that's a good option. And that's the one I'm going to move forward with. So yeah, let's go to step number 2, the commissions. Do you want to pay your publisher per click, per sales, or per leads? In my case, I want to pay per sale. You can change the name if you want. You can change the commission rate. You can have a fixed rate. You can have a percentage like this, and we'll see after that you can have as many levels and categories as you want. But yeah, for now, this is the rate I decide to use, 10%. Revenue share is something specific, might not be very relevant. It's when a publisher initially brings you a new customer, but this customer comes back to your website and purchase again, but without using the blog. So do you want to pay a commission for that or no? In my case, I don't. The validation. Do you want to validate manually or automatically every conversion? I suggest to use automatic for a very simple reason. We got you covered. So let's say that you have a conversion that for some reason you have a product returned to your warehouse. Well, you have 30 days to actually accept, validate, or refuse the conversion. So you don't need to go through and check every one of them. You just refuse the few ones that are not very they're not very relevant. Unpaid conversion validation. So, for example, if a customer pay per check, that's something we want you to check. So let's keep it manual. Conversion domain name, I suggest to leave it blank unless you have a different domain name when you have a purchase. And as for the cookie lifetime, I suggest as well to keep it at 30 days. This is the timeline that we have, time span. We're going to keep track of every click for a given cell. So let's move forward, submit. As you can see, you are able to add as many rules as you want. You can do it afterwards, so we're not going to do it right now. So let's move forward and click on next. Marketplace. Our marketplace is very useful if you want to give any visibility to your program to potential publishers that are able to apply for your program if they like what you offer. Right now, the marketplace is 90% French, to be quite honest with you, so it depends on what you want. Otherwise, you could just keep it private. It's up to you. The payment threshold is the minimum earnings before an affiliate, a publisher, can make a payment request. I would suggest to keep it as low as possible for a very simple reason. You might want to have small publishers. You never know which one is going to get bigger and to work with you. The bigger the threshold, the more publishers you're going to drive away. And yeah, that might be a bad strategy. As for the session timeout, you don't pay per clicks, at least that's not my case. But you still want us to retrieve and to show you on the dashboards relevant clicks on the same IP address. I'll explain later. For the publisher validation, we want you to check, and we want you to manually approve every application that you might receive. This is actually one of the big advantages of affiliate is you're the one in charge. So yeah, let's keep it manual. Up, forgot the payment threshold. And submit. As you can see, we're almost done. This is the configuration page. We have the interface with different menus that you can choose from. So let's get started with the description. So if you click on edit, you'll see that, well, first, this is all the parameters that we have set up. So you can change, modify, you can even add other links, Facebook, Instagram if you want. But it's mostly interesting because we want you to actually add some description, introduction to your brand. So yes, this is where you do it. Description and short description. I'm not going to do it right now, so I'm just going to go and cancel. Go back to the configuration page, and there we go. So just as a heads up, you can see that we have some script here for the tracking. Don't worry, we have a full documentation about that, but don't hesitate if you have any question. But just so you know, this is where you find the script for the clicks and this iframe for the conversions. That allows us to retrieve amount information, among other things, to automatically calculate the commissions. What is most important now is to change the groups. So right now, default group, it's not a very sexy name. So we're going to change it and we're going to say, I want to work with blogs. And I want to add some levels. So for example, after sell, let's say that publisher brought me 10 conversions. The next one is going to be paid with a commission rate of 12%. That's a good strategy to keep them motivated. The more sales they bring, the better commission rate they get. And that's it. So how do you look on the marketplace if you clicked on marketplace earlier? So you can see that right now we have no description, but that's something you will change, I guess. And you can see what we get. We have the different information such as commission rate, threshold payment, and all the parameters that are very important to our publishers to decide whether or not this is an interesting project. A potential partner. Let's move back to our platform. And yes, that's pretty much it. So don't hesitate if you have any question, send us an email and we'll be happy to help you. Bye-bye.